Hey everybody, this is Ivy's Lupus Life again. And today's video, I just want to do a part 2 of frequently asked questions in honor of May being Lupus Awareness Month. Um, Last video, I did a few questions just to kind of recap about, actually, you know what, let me back up. Let me first give you an update on me. As you all know, or as you may know, a couple of videos ago, or a few videos ago, I was wearing my heart monitor, which is a 30-day heart monitor that my cardiologist had me do because I've been having random chest pains. Excuse me. Just to give you an update though, all of that came back with no abnormalities. I also actually had an ultrasound of my heart, which also came back fine. Yesterday, I had an appointment with my primary physician, which was over the phone because of all this COVID stuff. Um, and funny part is we discussed a bunch of things and everything seems to be going okay, or at least a steady level of my norm. Um, Overall, it was a pretty good appointment. I let her know about my videos in which she said that she would be tuning in or trying to check out, and she even also should do a video with me um, to kind of go over some of the things that she likes to do. She's one of those type of doctors where she, instead of treating the symptoms, she's really big on treating the root cause to, help with everything. Um, so, overall, it was a really good appointment. However, 2 hours after the appointment, I started to have all this pain, like in my hip and everything, where I don't really have much range of motion right now. For some reason, the joint, it just kind of feels like in my pelvic bone area, like hip, it kind of feels like a wishbone, like somebody's breaking a wishbone. Very painful. And I had to go to the grocery store earlier today, so I got, of course, I parked in the handicap spot. I'm limping really bad all day. And also, I got the hover round or whatever at Walmart, and I grabbed the one with that's kind of plus size. Didn't realize it until I started crashing into everything. I didn't really judge my space, correctly. But I'm starting to feel better. But all in all, yeah, that's that. Um, so back to some of the questions that I have gotten, in the past, or it's not just me, but some of my other lupus warriors get, and things like that. So again, back to my questions in honor of May being Lupus Awareness Month. Some of the questions that we got last, that I got before, that I addressed, just to kind of give you a recap. Do you have AIDS? Again, just kind of go into that because lupus is an autoimmune disease. AIDS is also an autoimmune issue as well. The difference between the two is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome is AIDS, totally separate from lupus. Okay, I have an autoimmune disease. Of course, AIDS is something you can get sexually transmitted, sharing needles, a botched blood transfusion, stuff like that. Lupus has absolutely nothing to do with that. So the question, no. I do not have it, nor do the lupus warriors have it. Lupus is not AIDS by any means whatsoever. Lupus is just something that I can get in various different ways, which kind of leads me into another question that we have, that we've gotten before, is how did you get lupus? Lupus is, again, not something that you can catch. It's not contagious by any means or anything like that. It could be an environmental situation. There is quite a bit of speculation in the medical community in terms of it being a genetic or hereditary thing. They don't really know, but no, it's not contagious. And we are not totally sure as far as how we get it. What we do know is we get it for whatever reason. It can take a long time to diagnose, but it's not something that can go away. But again, no, if you touch me, if you hug me, which I typically don't hug because it's weird. If I kiss my husband or something like that, no, he cannot get lupus. Okay, it is not contagious by any means. Again, I'm not sure how we got it. It's just we're one of those lucky ones that got it, and it is what it is. We just have to deal. And again, I had all these questions written down, or a lot of questions written down because it's so many. Before I forget, though, if in the event that you have your own questions that you would like to know or that you have that I don't address, by all means, feel free to leave a comment, and we'll address it then, or in another video, or I'll respond to it, whatever the case may be. Another question, which was kind of actually, you know what, I'm not gonna do that one. One question I'm gonna do is that I used to ask myself, which I don't ask anymore, which some people may very well ask themselves, is why me? Why me, as in, for me in my situation, why do I, still have seizures? The seizures that I have, most people get them in adolescent years and grow out of them by the time they're in their late teens, early 20s. I'm in my 30s, still have seizures. Don't know why. Why did I have to have a miscarriage on Christmas Day? I don't know. After, a couple years or so of trying to get pregnant, why did I end up having a miscarriage? Why give it to me and then take it away? And then in such a way where I had to stay pregnant for a while and pass it on my own on Christmas Day. I don't know why. Why did you give me this pregnancy with my daughter and put me through so much throughout my pregnancy, only to become insulin dependent, gestational diabetes, and not go away, have difficult pregnancy. She go NICU for a little while or whatever. I'd be at such high risk or whatever, for her to come early. I don't know why. Why did I get, a cancer diagnosis? I don't know. Why do I have lupus? I don't know. The question of why me is something, again, that I used to ask, that I no longer ask. And for me, the reason why I do not ask that question anymore, and again, it wasn't a question that was directed necessarily towards anybody, it was just a question. And the reason why I asked is because I realized a long time ago that I will never get the answer in which I am searching for. There will never, in my mind, be a justifiable reason as to why I have dealt with all of this. What have I done in my life to deserve all of this? And I'm not necessarily a religious person, and most people who know me are fully aware of that. So for sure, one thing that I do not really care to hear, and which I understand some people say it because this is truly how they feel or whatever. But for me, you won't catch me saying, at least definitely not at this point in my life, saying, well, God feels like, he's going to test me, or he's putting me through this, so I can see the other side, or I can see this, whatever the case may be. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. In my mind, my rebuttal to that would be, if God is testing me for this XYZ or whatnot, this is not a major that I wanted to pursue. Can we change majors? Do I have to do this? Why are you testing me and stuff like that? And that can be an ongoing debate. And to me, I'm not about to have that debate with anybody because you can feel how you feel, which is fine. It's just I feel how I feel. So again, the question of why me is my own personal question that I used to ask, that I do not ask anymore, because taking religion out of it, or whatever reason, no reason is ever going to justify it, because I know how I am as a person. I try my best to do right by people. I do believe karma is real, and I can't think of anything in my life that I've done major enough to say that it would warrant this type of karma, this type of consequence, or whatever. Yeah, I may have defied my parents a time or two, when I was younger or something like that, but it wasn't anything to the point where I would deserve something like this. So I don't know why. I can't truly ask why me, because it doesn't make any sense to ask, in my opinion. I'm never going to get the answer that I want. Now, you might be able to find an answer that tells me how I got certain things, or, the cause of certain things. But the overall question of why did all of these things happen to me is not a question that's ever going to be answered. So, in case anybody who, is battling lupus or any other chronic illness or anything like that, if that's a question that you ask yourself, there's a good chance that you may, or there's, in my mind, I feel like it's really no point in asking that question. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to make you go away or anything like that. It's not something that I can fix. So I wouldn't ask that question. So, again, why me? I don't know what everybody else's reasoning is for, asking that question, or what answer they may come up with regarding their situation. But for me, not something I ask. Let's see. What else? What if I have no support system? This is not a question per se that was asked to me directly, but some of the questions that I have here to address come from some of the people in my lupus support group on Facebook. And it's, what if I have no support system? Now, as you may recall, I've done a video previously thanking my support system. I've never had the issue of not having a support system, so I can't necessarily tell somebody, what to do or how to handle that particular situation. Because again, one thing I've always said in my videos, I cannot tell somebody else's story. But what I can say is having a support system is very important. What I can do is tell you how my support system functions, or things that I did to get a support system outside of my family. But again, first and foremost, family is my family. Is always going to be there. I feel like everybody's family should be there for them, but the reality of it is that's not necessarily the case. One of the people in my support group, in which that's one thing you can do, seek different support groups. There are a lot of them out there. Facebook is one that's really good because it allows you to interact with other people who are going through similar things that you're going through. I'm in 2 different support groups on Facebook. One of them is strictly for laughs, and you're not allowed to talk about any complications, illnesses, pains, or whatever it is that you're going through in that particular group. It's strictly to take your mind off of things and give yourself a chance to laugh, and which is always a good thing. Laughter is definitely a good medicine. The other group is just basic group where we can address a lot of the things that we're going through. And it's not one of those groups where all I do is complain. No, we look for solutions to help us get through certain things. It's good because you can express your feelings in that group, or anything like that. Of course, it's a judgment-free zone, but you can relate to other people that are going through similar things that you are going through without having that uncomfortable feeling that some people have of not wanting to talk about the things that they talk about, or that the things that they want to talk about but might feel judged or might feel uncomfortable about, things like that. So it allows you to get some things off your chest, or just take comfort in knowing that there are other people out there. So Facebook is one that's really good. You can also check your local areas, or wherever you are, to see if there are any other groups. Talk to your doctors as well to see if they have any resources that you can look into. I'm not talking about reading pamphlets or medical articles, or anything like that tells you, hey, there are other people out here. These are some things that that we know about. Nothing formal, but something less formal, something more relaxing, where you can speak freely. Um, Ask your doctor, are there any resources? Look online and see if you have any resources. I feel like, in my opinion, although Facebook is a good resource, asking your doctors, I feel like having someone local to you, somebody that whether you meet up with them once a month, talk to them on the phone maybe once a week, or check on them, and then meet up once a month or whatever. I just feel like having someone face to face, or someone where you have physical contact with, I feel like that may be better suited for some people, and this is just my personal opinion. I know that for me, it's it's a better support system, or a stronger support system, because I have people that I can reach out and touch, so to speak. I can go to lunch with them, or even FaceTime, or whatever the case may be. If you have an iPhone, you can FaceTime, or Android, you can do Duo or IMO, or whatever you have. But yeah, so I feel like, in my opinion, those are better resources. I appreciate having my family here, and they're so supportive. My husband and whatnot. My parents, my siblings, and cousins, and aunt, and things like that, and then friends or whatever. So I feel like I've been fortunate to have people that are local to me, or people that I know for sure, or I know in my reality. So I can't again speak on necessarily what if you have no support system. Now there is one person in my Facebook group that said that she is married, and she has lupus, and she also has like 3 kids. She said that she has no support from her husband, none whatsoever. And it saddened me for sure to know that you have a whole husband that you lay next to every night, and he is no help to you. She's had really bad lupus flares, and she has a few other things outside of lupus, and she has days where she struggles just to get out of the bed, and her husband is not there for that. Right there, not only physically is it very difficult not to have that support system, but emotionally and mentally, it takes its toll to know that you have no one there to help you, or no one there to lay your head on, or no one there to rely on and say, hey, can you help me do this, or can you do this for me? So if you don't have that, I suggest, and this is not just for lupus people, this is anybody, my suggestion is to seek out Facebook groups. Seek out, any other support groups, or whatever the case may be. Like, talk to your doctor, or whatever. See if there are other people out there. It may require you to step outside your comfort zone to a certain degree, but sometimes that may be what you need. Me doing these videos, while I don't have any issues taking pictures or whatever, or talking to people, opening up about everything that I've gone through, and being completely raw as possible, is something that it's sort of a support. I have a virtual support system when it comes to this, even though, even if I don't have 50 million followers, whatever the case may be, as long as I know that I'm helping myself, as well as I could possibly be helping somebody else. It's part of my support system. So to all those who may not have anybody else, physically around them that, they have a support system to lean on, if you're watching these videos and you're going through that, by all means, feel free to lean on me. That's, reach out to me or whatever the case may be. That's perfectly fine. I have no problem doing that. So, yeah. What if I don't have a support system? Or what if I have no support system? That is my response to that. Do your best to seek out whatever help you can, whether it be through Facebook, whether it be, talking to your doctor, whether it be, even you responding to this video and, I reach out to you or something like that. I have no problem with that. I want everybody to be able to have somebody to lean on. So, let me cross that one off my list. And the wine meeting. Again, I have to write these down. It's a lot. Let's see. Another one, which is kind of loaded. I'll make this my last question because it can be, kind of deep, so to speak, especially for some people. But my mother actually asked me this question, oddly enough. And she asked me, how does this affect my husband? This being everything that I've gone through. Now I'm going to give you an answer from my perspective and then from his perspective, okay? So, from my perspective, how everything that I've gone through affects my husband is that, again, I've mentioned before, and especially those that know, my husband is a very hardworking man, okay? Being an entrepreneur and, doing everything he does, he's a very hardworking man. So, it's caused him to have to, I'm not going to say put in extra hours or pull in overtime, so to speak, but essentially, yes. It causes him to have to pick up the slack where I fall off. Simple things. Prime example, we go to the grocery store today. I'm in my hover round. I can't really go and pick up anything because, I'm in pain or whatnot. He loads all the groceries in the truck. And then he brings all the groceries in the house. Our previous unspoken arrangement is that, he does the heavy lifting. I put my safety monitor sparking. Taco. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Everybody, this is my safety monitor. Taco. Say hey, Taco. Okay, get there. You stink. You're in the bath tomorrow. Anyway. So so our unspoken arrangement is he brings all the groceries in. I have to put them up. But today, that was not possible. So he had to step in and help do that. Bringing the laundry downstairs or something like that, or trying to, fold laundry or lift, stuff like that. Small things. It causes him to have to do extra. And I feel horrible about it, regardless how many times he tells me it's okay. The point is, he already does a lot. I feel like he should not have to do any extra, so it's a struggle in my opinion because it causes extra work on him that I feel like he should not do. That's how it affects my husband in my mind, okay? In his mind, this whole situation affects him because he would like to have more good time, I guess you could say. More than what already happens. For him, that's his only major complaint. Unfortunately, the way things are, it doesn't allow me to always do that, which, I've addressed in other videos. I would love to do all of that. Like, But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. So that's how all of this affects my husband from his perspective. Again, my perspective is a little bit different. Um, it's been a bit of a struggle trying to find a healthy balance with everything in our marriage when it comes to me having my issues or whatever, him working. Like, why are you being a creep? Daddy's home. So actually, you know what? He'll be in a minute. So I'm gonna ask him to see if he wants to put it in his own words. But for me, it affects him differently, and that also just kind of speaks to my own insecurities that I've addressed before. It speaks to my paranoia when it comes to certain things or whatever, and how extreme my mind goes when it comes to how all of this stuff intertwines with our marriage. Um, so, so again, one of the questions that I had was, how does all this affect my husband? He's home, so did you want to tell him how all my issues affect you? Yeah, mind you, let me just say he's not always a man of many words, so bear with me.
So look here, I don't have like 8 hours to discuss all this because it takes forever. I mean, literally forever. But how it affects me is on my mind 24/7, every day, every hour. Wondering if she's hurting, she's in pain, what she needs, what she don't need, what I gotta get, what I don't have to get, what makes her feel better. Literally, it affects on my brain 24/7. Good for you.
And that's all that you want to say right now. I told you I ain't not a man of many words. That was actually a lot. So, all right. Love you. See, I'm going to say I love you. But anyway, so as you can see, again, I've always said before that I'm not going to tell anybody else's story. I can tell you about, you know, how I interpret how it affects them, conversations that we've had. But as you see, he feels a lot more. But yeah, so basically, that was it in terms of how it affects my husband. It has a lot of different impacts on our marriage in general, but that's my matrimonial warden, as I call it. But again, I understand why he worries and things like that. I get it. It makes sense to be worried about, your loved one, your spouse, whatever the case may be, your mother, father, whoever it is in your life that has it. It makes total sense to be worried about them because there are days where, you know, I try to put on a happy face, or whoever tries to put on a happy face and get through the day. I battle with bouts of depression, I guess you could say, because of everything. So it's a very difficult thing to deal with. It's very much an ongoing process and something that's never ending. And one thing I can say about my husband, which he's always said, was he takes his vows very seriously, for sickness and health, for better for worse. I'm pretty sure he did not anticipate having to deal with all of these issues. Only thing that I had when we got married was seizures, and which, funny thing, I actually had a seizure at the altar, almost busting my whole face. Um, but he took it like a champ. All of the issues that I have, and I am forever grateful for what he has done and what he has sacrificed, be it time or whatever the case may be. That's pretty much how it has affected my husband. So, with that, I will end today's video. I will say this. Yeah, I have my hat on today, but the last video I believe was, I told you I named my hair Viola because I want to try to develop a much stronger relationship with her to get my hair to get back where I need it to be. Um, got my ends clipped. As you can see, it's a little bit shorter than it was. So I have length or whatever, it's just not super thick. And because my life is so stressful, y'all, let me show y'all something, okay? Being raw and uncut. Most people don't see this because of how I wear my hair, right? You see this? That's not a bald spot, y'all. That's gray hair. Like I got struck with lightning. But it's alright, you know. I embrace it. And what I say is, if I want to role play, I can be rogue. And when it all go white, then I could be Storm X-Men. So, you know, I'm gonna embrace it and I'm gonna work with what I got. So, yeah. All right. Well, until next time, I'll see y'all with some more frequently asked questions. Hopefully, you know, the last video was frequently asked questions will be it. So again, I had a lot of them. So, yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you have not. Click the bell for notifications of my next video. For all those that do support me in terms of watching the videos, or even if you've learned anything from subscribing, or whatever the case may be, I appreciate it. Hopefully it helps you. Hopefully it helps anybody else. Again, feel free to leave a comment, reach out, whatever the case may be, especially regarding the support system part, because again, I do believe that that is very much an instrumental piece in me being able to go on every day or whatever. And, you know, even though I struggle quite often, as anybody would, but having the support system itself makes it that much easier to get through things whenever you just want to vent or something like that. So, yeah, I guess I will talk to you a little later.